No fudge. Does anyone want some? Got nuts in it.
Oh, innocent meatwad. Hey, pups, what's up? Welcome. Happy Friday. It's another show, another Power Up podcast show where we take a look at what happened in the old pop culture area. Just get ourselves updated, maybe laugh at some insanity that's taken place, look at some stuff that we remember from the past, rekindle that nostalgic spirit, but also do our best to try to remove all the weeds and woke bullshit that's infested in it. Because it shouldn't be that way. I think we had it right back in the day. So we're just taking a look at what went wrong, I guess you could say. But yeah, if you're new to the show and you enjoy it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live, whether that's doing the Power Up podcast here or doing some game streaming. We've been doing Blue Dragon, and we're probably going to be doing some Sparking Zero coming up, the new Dragon Ball Z game. So maybe some arcades. I kind of don't want to start a new series at the moment just because the new Dragon Ball game's coming up. But yes, we got some articles here pulled up. And yeah, let's hop on in. Let's take a gander. So this is coming from Video Game Chronicle. Halo Infinite is getting a third-person mode. Now, when you think of Halo, do you think of a third-person mode? Absolutely not. Now, whenever you picked up, like, I believe like a machine gun or used like one of the powers, it's been a while since I played Halo. Halo's pretty much, I never was a big Halo person, but I played all the games and stuff. I liked the story, but other than that, to me, Halo is dead. And the only time it would like zoom out into this mode is when you pick up like a heavy, like a turret or something like that. But as you can see here with the battle rifle, you can now apparently working on going into third person mode, and completely defeats the purpose of what made Halo Halo, as far as I'm concerned when I first saw this, but we'll see what their plan is. So the news was announced during the 2024 Halo World Championship in Seattle during a discussion on the game's development. It was revealed that the game will be receiving an update in November, which adds the ability to play the game from an over-the-shoulder viewpoint for the first time in the Halo series. Third-person controls will be supported at a mode level. Senior Community Manager John Yunshek said. This means players won't be able to manually switch between first-person and third-person mode. It will be set for them. The third-person view will also be added to Forge mode, allowing creators to switch individual players or all players between first and third-person perspectives as desired. It's a fun way to play. You have more awareness, you get to see your Spartan. It's super cool, but yet is it Halo? Because the whole point of Halo is to be in first person. Internally, people have been loving it, and I'm excited for everyone to get their hands on it later this year. So, can watch it here. It's got a work in progress. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit. Very blurry. Is there not a way to increase the... Well, I didn't want to just open up X. But, I mean, we're getting the idea. Yeah, because whenever you pick up the hammer, or what, like I said, a turret, you go into third person. Is even, like, do people really even play Infinite anymore? I know a lot of my friends don't play Halo Infinite anymore. Skybox Labs senior software engineer Colin Cove added, the team did a lot of work on aiming, making sure the things were accurate. The camera position has changed so dramatically. And Junisty explained, normally the camera's in your head, and whenever you're looking, you're shooting. Now with the third-person camera, when your camera's behind you, you have to account for two different kinds of inputs on our aiming system, and it took a lot of work to make it happen. That seems to pretty much it. Oh yeah, we'll be looking into this too. But apparently Silent Hill 2 is supposedly kicking ass. And I saw this on Video Game Chronicle. It's a review. I guess we'll go into that now because the Silent Hill 2, this is over on Niche Gamer. I'm not going to read the review. Gets a new trailer ahead of global launch. Publisher Konami and developer Blooper Team have shared I think that's supposed to be literally a new trailer, but they just put it in N. Trailer for their Silent Hill 2 remake ahead of its global launch next week. And then a rundown of the trailer. I mean, and then we've got it pulled up. I've got it pulled up on the Konami YouTube page here. Let's take a look. Okay, there's Pyramid Head.
I got a letter.
I don't know if they got the OG voice actor to be James. Okay. All right, so that looks like they made him young again.
My wife's name.
There's Mary. I think in a past episode I said Maria. I always get the names mixed up. Okay. All right, he kind of has some stubble there. Okay, here we go. I mean, aesthetics look good. Oh, do they... Okay, there's the infamous nurses. Okay, that looks okay so far.
Are you afraid?
See, now she looks thinner there. So I wonder if they actually listened and toned down their face. The thing is, though, is how much did they censor? That's the thing.
I just want to get my Mary back.
Your Mary. If you smart, your own little Mary.
It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead.
There's oh, what's his name?
Same once you're dead.
Barry?
Pretty. It's all the same.
Eddie. I don't know why I thought Barry. I think I was thinking of Resident Evil.
And a corpse
Okay.
can't laugh.
Added that a little bit. Okay, I wanted to see a picture, like,
And a corpse can't you dead.
here we go.
Dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all
Like, my big thing is that the I forget what their names are, but the people that are like their arms are crossed and they're all skin and stuff, I'm still don't like how that looks because they're like kind of stitched together, and that's kind of not, as far as I can remember from the OG. Like, it's just weird skin growing. It's not so much it was cobbled together. That was more of the mannequin people. So they made him... Okay, so they definitely made Eddie a lot chunkier. Because he wasn't terrible in the first one, but they're really... Like, he has, like, no neck.
the same once you're dead.
Which is fine, because that's kind of what the whole point of his character was, is because he got made fun of a lot. Okay. Pants are pulled up. He's wearing a belt. In the OG, he kind of let his butt crack show. Which, I mean,
Stay with
I don't know why they censored.
Don't leave me alone again.
Okay, she, I feel still, I mean, PS2, like, definitely their models were different.
I know.
Like, obviously from PS2 to this here.
It's all over now.
The biggest thing is, did they leave the infamous pyramid head scene in? Because if they took that out, that's because of censorship. And it's stupid because it plays a part in the story. Did he really? Why did his nose, like, straight up look Ichabod Crane nose? Okay, there's... I mean, that's at the end of the game. Spoiler. All right, so from what I'm seeing right now, it's possible they actually listened to people and cleaned up the models. I'm hoping so. Especially oh gosh. I know some of the names, but some of the name her. Get over here. Clicking through. Or maybe I can her. Now she looked fine there, and especially when she leans her head up. Cause like the ones we saw like kind of before, like she had that chin. Mary looked fine. Maria, I'm still kind of but yeah, see, she looks a lot better here than she did like what people would post in the past.
Are you afraid?
But I mean, I still don't understand why they're terrified of like giving women feminine features. Well, they're not terrified. They're trying to appease to someone. Mary, I guess in the cutscene, Mary looked fine. See, not sold on, not Mary, Maria. Well, no, yeah. See, yeah, I'm getting the names confused. Mary looked fine in the cutscenes. Right here,
Leave me alone.
I don't know. It just seems like all the women, like, they're getting like round faces, and it's so annoying. It's like, just let them have feminine features.
You're supposed to take care of.
I don't know. So with this new one, it kind of looks like they cleaned up a little bit, but still sus. And of course, everyone's praising it because it's getting all these scores. So I don't know. Oh yeah, these guys I'm still not a fan of how they made them. But there you go. Silent Hill supposedly doing good in the ratings. Hopefully it's not just because of biasm. Silent Hill supposedly, or biasms, biased ratings, because it got, you know. All right, but we covered that. That Park Place had a lot of good stories to like talk about. This caught my eye. Henry Cavill not done with the MCU after cameo as the Calvarine in Deadpool and Wolverine. I still haven't seen the movie yet. Supposedly a new rumor that Henry Cavill is not done with the MCU after his cameo as the Calvarine in Deadpool and Wolverine. He appeared as the Calvarine in Deadpool and Wolverine. How many times are you going to say this? Like, we get it. He was in Deadpool and Wolverine. In the short cameo, he's seen taking care of his motorcycle when Deadpool attempts to recruit him to aid him. It does not go well for Deadpool as the Calvarine sends him through a time variance authority portal. Scooper My Time to Shine Hello claims that Henry Cavill's cameo is not a one-and-done appearance with the MCU. He wrote, Henry Cavill is not done with the MCU. So this rumor appears to lend credence to a previous one from Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News, who shared that his Marvel insiders informed him that Henry might be up to play the character full-time in the MCU. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but he does look like a solid Wolverine. He added, Henry actually might be in talks to play the MCU's Wolverine. I hear, similar to what he wanted for a return as Superman, he is asking for a lot of money to play Wolverine. So Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige addressed the status of Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ahead of the release, telling Discussion Films, you know, Marvel is celebrating its 85th anniversary later this summer. That's just the first 85 years, and Disney just celebrated 100 years as well. I think these characters will be around for another 100 years, long after all of us. Well, I mean, as long as you make good superhero movies, but you kind of been failing at that. So for sure, there will be eventually another actor as Wolverine, he said. I think it will be in a very different style and in a different way. I also think if somebody were to attempt to do a Hugh Jackman as Wolverine impression, that would be a pretty big mistake. Feige also stated that Marvel Studio has no immediate plans to replace Hugh Jackman, who returned as a character for Deadpool and Wolverine. As comic readers know, there have been various and very, very different versions of the characters over the decade. It would be fun to explore different ones someday down the line. I mean, but that's the thing, is you guys fucked up so bad trying to explore new characters by changing who they were, that when you messed up, you have to bring back the established OGs, you know, your Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that. And at least with Henry, like with The Witcher, he actually cares about the lore and story. Again, we don't have any immediate plans by any means, but in the decades to come, I think it's inevitable. If that happens, it would have to be a very different and bold reinterpretation of the character, because no one will be great as Hugh Jackman is doing his version of Wolverine. And then Henry is expected to have a busy plate. He'll be taking part of the upcoming reboot of Highlander from John Wick creator Chad Stahelski. He's also the executive producer and is helming a Warhammer 4K universe at Prime Video. However, it's unclear if the Warhammer 40K, I think I said 4K, 40K project will move forward. And then an update from Games Workshop detailed that it has failed to come to terms with Amazon on creative guidance with the project, and it could fall through if they do not come to terms by December. Yeah, because they probably want to add some DEI woke bullshit, and Henry's like, that has nothing to do with the lore. And then it's just talking about GameWorks and Amazon. It states, under the terms of the agreements, Games Workshop has granted exclusive rights to Amazon in relation to films and television series within the Warhammer 40K universe, together with an option for Amazon. Yeah, whatever. Recent rumor regarding the project indicated that both parties were entirely content to let it die. YouTube Arch shared, it's been completely radio silence on the matter, the TV show, ever since. I mean, we're not so much. This is just padding now for Warhammer. Along with Warhammer and Highlander, IMDb notes Henry also has other roles lined up, including Squadron 42, a video game set in the Star Citizen universe, a third Enola Holmes film for Netflix where he played Sherlock Holmes, the role of Don Tillman in The Rosie Project, and the next Guy Ritchie film in The Grey, where he will star alongside Jake Gyllenhaal, Eiza Gonzalez, and Rosamund Pike. And then what do you make of Cavill continuing with the MCU? I mean, that'd be cool. Again, at least from the little stuff I've read about Henry, is that at least he seems to care about the lore that he partakes in and that he's interested in. But who knows? Who knows? All right, so there's a bunch of Ubisoft news coming out, because Ubisoft is just burning down, which is great. Good to hear, because hopefully this will be a huge wake-up call to video game companies and realize that no one asks for your retarded DEI woke shit. This one caught my eye. This was yesterday, coming from that Park Place. Japanese YouTuber discovers Ubisoft is hiring native Japanese localization tester in China. Huh. So Shohei Kondo, a Japanese YouTuber, discovered that Ubisoft has a job listing for a native Japanese localization tester that is located in Chengdu, China. In a recent video upload, Shohei went to Ubisoft's career page and searched for job openings as a game tester for the company. His search resulted in a native Japanese localization tester job that is located in China. Upon clicking through to the job position, he questioned, "You are looking for local Japanese, right? Why they always put Chinese to the Japanese, like they put Chinese subtitles to a Japanese trailer?" After he completed his application for the position, he commented, "This is really ridiculous. Native Japanese localization tester in China. This company. Something that really makes me worry is that, is that why they are looking for people in China. When they mention history experts, it's China. Actually, if that's it, it much more makes sense, because there's a Chinese instrument and people are talking about the buildings, and a lot of this stuff looks like mostly in China. And I can easily tell Japanese are not involved. And this brings me another concern," he concluded. "As of writing, the job is still listed on the Ubisoft website, and notes that if it's an official base position at Ubisoft, or that it is an official base position at the Ubisoft office in China. Interestingly, the company description is also translated into China, but the job description is translated in Japanese. And it states, established in 2008, Ubisoft Chengdu is one of the key game studios in Western China and a full-fledged production center with over 320 talents contributing to Ubisoft's lineup. We have a strong track record of co-development on the biggest brands such as Assassin's Creed, Skull and Bones, and For Honor. Isn't Skull and Bones doing terrible? As well as developing casual games such as Rabbids Party Game and bringing hit titles to the Switch. So here it is right here. There's your screenshot. And then while the job listing notes it is an official, or it is an office-based position, there is a bonus points section under the qualification section that states, willing to work in China. We can provide working visa if you choose to work on-site in the studio, apparently. So there's your qualification. Able to work in English environment and make basic communications in English. So in China, asking for Japanese, but expects you to work in an English environment. Amazing. There's your bonus points. So making this all the more bizarre is the fact that Ubisoft has an office in Tokyo, Japan. Nevertheless, this does appear to be something that the company does, given the 3 job openings it has in its Tokyo office are for a social engagement manager, Korea, content creators manager, Korea, and brand lead, Korea. The company has an office in Seoul, Korea. It's noted by Kondo, the fact that the company is attempting to locate a native Japanese speaker to be a localization tester in China raises even more questions about the company and its executive statements regarding its commitment to authenticity. And then there was an article in the New York Post. Mark Alex Koda declared, "We want people to be passionate about history." What does that mean? Stay true to well-documented moments and historical figure. Well, that's a lie with Yasuke. But not shying away from having a critical point of view and defying cliches to go beyond what is the accepted truth. Dude, if it's historically documented, oh my gosh, if it's historically documented and well documented, then that's the truth. It's not an accepted truth. It's the truth. That's it. Period. Now, if you can differentiate between someone who is like a historian who is unbiased versus someone who is biased, or understanding when some stuff are just straight up propaganda, that's one thing. This makes absolutely no sense. This makes no sense. These are the people that literally use he's a historical figure to justify why they picked Yasuke and how he should be the face of Japan, apparently. But yet, when you look at said documents and realize on how ambiguous it is, then all of a sudden, well, I mean, now we've got to defy that cliche and go beyond the accepted truth. It's like, dude, this is why these people never give you solid definitions of things, or they rewrite the definitions. It's so that they can always have an excuse to weasel out. So Assassin's Creed Shadow's lead producer, Carl Oni, made similar comments to games industry. We are trying to create a game that is as authentic as possible. It's something we would take pride in. Look, I mean, this isn't Park Place, but look at this. As authentic as possible. Define the cliches that go beyond what is the accepted truth. Oh, it's something we take pride in. Well, it's one thing to take pride in your work, I can guess. I would say, I would thank God that he gave me the abilities to make to like whatever it is I feel that he's called me to do. That's one thing. So I try not to be prideful. But this just looks like 2 delusional people. Anyway. He continued, and that is also a very long process. When we build a Japanese house from feudal Japan, it is very different from, say, a French medieval house or an English one. Yes, but you could also straight up put in Chinese structure as well. And yet we know you've kept structures in there. Well, you may not anymore since you've delayed it. But anyway, so you have to learn as artists where things go inside a feudal Japanese house. Maybe the food doesn't go there. You have to get everything you need to know and learn. And that process is long. Oh, but when it came to representing Yasuke, you got that nailed down in your guys' warped minds. He then explained later on in the interview how they went on site to conduct the research. It's not feudal Japan, obviously, but it's good to go on site because it is only then that we realize it is very different to what we think it is. No, really. You went to a whole different, place, different culture, different architecture, different aspects, and you made this discovery. It's different than what we thought it was. No shit. Oh my gosh. It's very interesting because when the team went there, one of the things that jumped out was the forests and how they are. We had made some forests based on the Greece landscape for Odyssey, but when we went, we noticed it was very different to what we'd done and what we had to change it. Dude, these are just obvious statements. I'm sorry, but are you like suggesting that you could have just copied and pasted the forest models and stuff and just use them inside of, the Assassin's Creed one? It's like, wow, the trees are different too. It's like, I would hope so, because it does depend on where they are growing and where they are in the world. These are some of the small things that are very important because you get a better sense of the dimensions of the building, of the culture. Well, monuments, shrines, and all that. From what we've seen reported about what you guys been doing, you guys, all that very important small detail seem to have like went in one ear and out the other, because you guys are apparently failing miserably at it. Well, not apparently, you are failing. It's important to represent all that correctly. Are we done? Like, oh my gosh. I don't want to read any more of his statements because it's just, I'm sure my nose will start bleeding after a while. Because it's like, wow, I realized that, I can't even think of an example because it's like we've already seen enough. Well, now this is just padding, like kind of what Assassin's Creed is leading up to, end of Sengoku period. All that stuff. Ugh. Score. And they're talking about Yasuke again. We've approached it in the same way that so much of the work is done in Assassin's Creed, which is really in terms of research and history first. I can't lift up my arm that much because I'm healing, but X to doubt on that one. Huge X to doubt. In fact, straight up lie. From L.A. Noir. Call out that lie. That's not true. She then admitted, not a lot is known about him. Well, then maybe you shouldn't. Well, yeah. Don't say that you did really good in research and history and then go, yeah, not a lot is known about him. But what we do know, or did know. I was like, why is she restating the same thing twice? There's a did in there. A did and a do. A did and a do. So he arrived in Japan in 1579, right when our game starts. Okay. And that he had relations with some of the most interesting people in our settings, like Oda Nobunaga, the Portuguese, and the Jesuits, which made it very sort of tantalizing and enticing from a narrative perspective to come in and start weaving these facts with story in between. Yes, but you're conveniently leaving out of the reason why he was able to meet someone like Oda Nobunaga or the Portuguese or the Jesuits. Because if you did learn that, then you would have read that he was kind of seen as like a freak of nature. Everyone saw him like that. That's literally what was recorded. They just want to ignore that one. It's like, we'll leave that part alone and we'll just make up history. Ubisoft Quebec went to Great Lakes consulting source documents and building a network of expert historians, professors, and cultural consultants to help the team build a world of authenticity as possible. Nope, you resorted to Sweet Baby Inc., historians and professors whose work has only been from the last 3 years. And yeah, I mean, tons of people have already talked about this. Team made trips to Japan to help them properly grasp the landscape and the culture. Well, apparently they didn't grasp it at all. Made it clear that they were attempting to tell a historical story of Yasuke, except they made up Yasuke's entire historical background. Whatever. And then his historical story is established and then developed and expanded from that point. The team won't spoil how he's linked to Assassin's Creed lore. Players will have to play the game to find out, he declared. Nope, because we already saw from the trailers that what you're doing is bullshit. But anyway, this is just padding from now on. So what do you make of Ubisoft trying to staff a native Japanese localizer tester in China? Retarded, since there's literally an office in Tokyo, so just reach out over there. But it is definitely interesting. Very sus. Shohei Kondo, thank you for pointing that out. Well, since we're on Ubisoft, we've got some interesting info. Tencent and the Gilmot family are reportedly considered taking Ubisoft private. The Assassin's Creed publisher has lost more than half its market value this year. Good. According to the Bloomberg sources, the Chinese conglomerate, which already owns around 10% of Ubisoft, and the Gilmot brothers Ltd, have been speaking with advisors to explore ways to stabilize Ubisoft. Is one of the ways just make good games and not worry about DEI and woke and woke consultants? I mean, you just do that and you'll see your numbers go back up. Give it a try. Give it a try, Ubisoft. So one of the possibilities discussed would involve teaming up to take Ubisoft private, it claimed, though talks are said to be at an early stage, and there's no certainty that they will lead to that action. Tencent and the Gilmot family are also considering other alternatives, according to Bloomberg. Last month, Ubisoft's share price... I actually know someone named Blomberg. Anyway, last month, Ubisoft's share price dropped to its lowest point in nearly 11 years. The most recent dips followed Ubisoft's announcement that it had delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows and the disappointing launch performance of Star Wars Outlaws. I mean, this is from your stupid, toxic positivity that you guys are telling people in the studio to do. You're just ignoring the actual, gamers out there. Because back in the day, businesses cared about what customers were saying. But these people don't want customers. They just want you to buy their product without thinking about it. We pointed this out earlier, that even giving your opinion after if you watched like a trailer or 15 minutes of exclusive gameplay and stuff, that's not enough to them. You have to buy the whole game and then play a good chunk amount of it to even get the idea of them starting a conversation with you. We've seen that. This is the level they're taking it to. Because they don't care about you. They don't care about gaming. And then earlier in September, a minority investor called on Ubisoft's management to take the company private or let it be sold to a strategic investor. Hedge fund AJ Investments published an open letter calling for strategic and structural changes at Ubisoft. It urged the board to consider taking the company private, implement a comprehensive cost reduction program, and optimize staffing levels to be more comparable with industry leaders, increase its focus on core IPs, and consider replacing current CEO Jovez Gilmont. Slovakia-based AJ Investments holds less than 1% in Ubisoft. And with them, with supposedly having possibly the idea of keeping them private, they're also, coming from that Park Place, might want to cut the staff by 40% or around 8,000 people amid rumors of a buyout. Target killed at Target. At least one analyst speculates that Ubisoft might cut its staff by 40% amid rumors that the company will be bought out and taken private. And then a rumor from Bloomberg's Vinci Chain, Dong Chao, and Benoit Berthelot claims that Tencent Holdings and the Gilmont family are considering options including a potential buyout of the French video game developer after it lost more than half its market value this year, according to people familiar with the matter, and that the Chinese tech company and the Gilmont Brothers Ltd. have been speaking with advisors to help explore ways to stabilize Ubisoft and bolster its value. I like how all of this is like, do we do a buyout? Do we make it go private? Do we cut people? Not so much of, maybe we should just make a game that doesn't piss off like actual gamers and not make games for activists and get rid of the activists that are in our studios. That could be, that could be a possible fix, but what do I know? The people said, as not to be identified discussing a private matter. One of the possibilities being discussed would involve teaming up to take the company private, according to people. And then we've read this open letter to the Ubisoft board. Furthermore, it noted, if Gilmont and Tencent are not interested in Ubisoft value, we urge the current management not to block any takeovers, as there are several PE groups that would be interested based on our research. In the event of offer from a PE group or strategic investor, we urge Gilmont family to accept this bid, and when this bid will be for a fair price. If this offer won't be accepted, we will sue for a reimbursement of damage. Oh, that'd be nice to tack on like a lawsuit. But I want to see where this supposed layoff is coming. Because I think we've read this I'm sure we've read this in a past show. Firm followed up on this with the Reuters reporting that it had gathered support from 10% of the French video game publisher shareholders. Also reiterated a call for Ubisoft to sell and take it private. We call on the management of Ubisoft to allow the sale of the company to third parties or private equity firms at a fair price. Here we go. So following said rumor of it taking private, Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson speculated that Ubisoft would be forced to reduce its staff by, quote, around about 30 to 40%. There it is right there. Boop, boop. Ubisoft's website notes it has 20,000 employees that work in 45 plus studios across 30 countries. If the company were to lay off 30% of its workforce, it would be laying off 6,000 employees. And if it would lay off 40 in the workforce, that would be 8,000 employees. Oof. What do you make of this speculation that Ubisoft might cut around 40% of its staff? I mean, we're seeing gaming companies do this all the time, so it wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if they would do that. But, I'm being quite harsh and enjoying, driving that knife in further and further, because Ubisoft is pretty much the company that I'm hoping fails and burns miserably. And it's unfortunate that it's come to this, but to me, we are seeing pushback, obviously, like letting the companies know by not buying their games and whatnot, but that's just kind of, to me, kind of on a surface level of speaking with your wallet, You cannot buy a game all you want. They need to start losing money fast. And then they need to open their eyes and realize that they're majority of the time not listening to the actual gamers. They're just making games for their woke, DEI people that, ultimately the game is just one giant circle jerk for them, not for actual gamers. It's for activists. And so, how do we get those people weeded out? Because obviously the best thing would be the people who actually care about the gaming industry, want to tell a good story. Doesn't matter what ethnicity or whatever you are. If you love video games and you want to contribute an artistic, creative, input and be a part of it, that's one thing. But if you're doing this and going, all right, we got to, have a strong, powerful woman now because we need more diversity, XYZ, you need to leave. You need to get out. How do we do that? Well, unfortunately, it's getting to the point where at this point, it's the entire company needs to, burn to the ground. And sadly, if good people lose their jobs from it, it's unfortunate. I mean, that's kind of life because a lot of people experience that, but, you got to start from the ground up at some point. And to me, Ubisoft is pretty much the company that will make that shockwave, that will hopefully wake up the eyes of the glazed over CEOs who are just unaware of what's happening and maybe get them to actually start caring about what they do. Because some CEOs don't know anything. Some CEOs purposely just want to cater to the woke DEI. And some CEOs, just want to make a quick buck. I mean, that's what it is. But you want to know someone who is appalled at the fact that people are cheering about Ubisoft dying? Is Stevie Chazard. Close to Charizard, but with S's. Who is the monetization director at Ubisoft. So someone whose job is literally to convince you to buy their product is mad that you're not buying their product and that you should be appalled that there's so many good workers. Well, we'll just read what they say. So he lashes out at gamers. So literally the people that that is his target audience, that his job is supposed to convince to go and buy their product. And fellow developers. So not just the gamers now, the fellow developers. Stevie or Stevie Chazard, I don't know. Stevie, I feel like would be with... Yeah, maybe it is Stevie. My brother's name is Steve. But it would be spelled I-E. But anyway, we'll just say Stevie. Stevie Chazard, the monetization director at Ubisoft, lashed out at gamers and his fellow developers, this would be on LinkedIn, in the wake of the company's postponing Assassin's Creed Shadows and admitting its sales on Star Wars Outlaws were softer than expected. Ubisoft announced via a press release that it was downgrading its expected yearly net booking to 1.95 whatever, and that it would have around break-even non-IFRS operating whatever. They're losing money. It also shared that it had a softer than expected launch for... We know this already. Let's get to the saltiness. Here we go. After a week after this press release of, we're not doing so hot from Ubisoft, Chazard took to LinkedIn. Notice how not like X or anything where a lot of his stuff would have been seen, but to LinkedIn, where he lashed out at gamers and his fellow developers celebrating the demise of Ubisoft. That's me. I'm a gamer, and I'm celebrating its demise because I'm hoping it's a wake-up call. Because literally, you had it working in the past. There was nothing wrong happening in the past. You literally there was diversity. Now, these people, when they use diversity, it's not, the common definition of what diversity means. It's their version of diversity. And they saw a problem that needed to be fixed. Where really a lot of the problems they claimed were happening in the past have actually been resolved. It's that they need some sort of clout. They still see an issue. So this is why they're infesting it. So he wrote, I rarely post on social media, but today I am lay sad. He didn't say like sad. I just threw that in there. Ashamed and sad. Well, I'm quite happy. And boastful, I guess you could say. I'm proud that Ubisoft is burning. The gaming industry is rough at the moment, thanks to you guys. We all know it. Well, you don't know it. We know it. We know it because it's people like you that caused it to what it is. But obviously there's going to be projection here from him. But seeing how gamers, there you go, already, gamers, react on social medias, wishing ill fate to companies and people alike is sad. No. Companies that aren't listening to the gamers and activists who are people, yes. The ill fate that you think people are wishing upon these types of people is nothing more than remove them from the industry. Now, there's going to be some people that will say never let them back in, or some people that will be like, maybe they can get deprogrammed and come around. I'm probably one where right now, don't let them back in until they are 100% deprogrammed. But that's all we're saying. And all we're doing is just pointing to, hey, all those games in the past, you had no problem then. Why is it a problem now? And then that's where they're not going to tell you what this modern audience is. They refuse to define it for you. So we've defined it. It's DEI, it's woke, it's activists inside the video game industry that want to destroy it. Because they cannot contribute to anything in life, apparently. And in order to get some sort of clout to make their life worth living for some reason, even though literally the world doesn't really care about them, and that it's up to you to find what your self-worth is. I tell you to, read scripture and then utilize the gifts God's given you and go and share it with other people. That's what I would tell you to do. But not these people. Some of them have been sadly brainwashed. Some of them have always been like this. That's the thing. And not only towards Ubisoft. Even though it is always the vocal minority. Dude. The gamers that are making all of these things that you're ass mad about are not the minority then. It's literally the vocal gamers that once again are like, dude, we didn't ask for this. All we want is this. Just do that and we'll be fine. But no, it's... Anyway. That express themselves on social media. Remember, he's the monetization director or something. This is literally his job, and he's complaining about it. I was hurt and ashamed to be part of this community. Then leave. Resign. Go away. Find a job that doesn't make you feel like this then. If you don't like it, leave. GTFO. This is the entitlement that these people had the gall to share with you online and stuff. This is the same retarded thought process that the left use when it's like, it's the same logic when they spit out the stupid, buzzwords and buzz phrases. You're not a real fan. If you're a real fan, you'd agree with my ideology. No, that's just not how the world works. Because you can't please anyone. Exactly what the now scrubbed from Square Enix, the video of the interview of the director of Dragon's Quest, they don't want that video to be around anymore. They're claiming because it was, it was taken out of context. It was translated sex education, but it meant Puritan. That is not what people were caring about in that interview. It was literally the fact that he revealed that they're getting these regulations that they're like, we don't understand why. That was the kicker. That's what Square Enix doesn't want you to see. Is they revealed that someone is telling them regulations that aren't true, that aren't necessary, that aren't needed. That's why that video is being scrubbed. He then directed his anger at his fellow developers. Way to go. Again, these people, this guy right here. It's never their fault. It's your fault that we suck. It's your fault that the gaming industry is dying. It's your fault that you're not just being a brainless, incel and buying the games without, just buy the game and don't think about it. You'll like it. No. We've seen the trailers. We've seen the exclusive gameplay. We don't like it. That's how product works. That's how businesses used to work, where you listen to the customer, and when enough customers are saying the same thing over and over and over and over, businesses would then go, yeah, there might be something into this and we need to take a look and change it. They don't want to do it because, again, it was never for the customer. It was for them. They're making all of this for them. Why? I don't know. It's one of the things is like, you hate the industry so much. Why are you even in it? Why don't you go and do your own shit? And that's the thing, is they're uncreative. They can't contribute to anything. So they have to destroy something. Their contribution is bastardizing and destroying. But getting off topic, what is even more revolting is coming on LinkedIn and seeing the same comments from people within the industry. Maybe you should then take the fucking hit and do some self-reflecting. On top of exposing yourself as a clearly non-decent human being. There you go. Right there. You're a disgusting pile of shit. These are the people that are saying there's a group out there, these minorities, these people, these underprivileged classes, these XYZs and stuff. All of these people are seeing these these people as not human and stuff like that. And then literally this statement, exposing yourself as clear and non-decent human being. I mean, a lot of these people are saying what they think out loud now, so it's no surprise. It doesn't shock me. But it's just the self-awareness of this fool is absolutely mind-boggling. You are affecting thousands of employees that are already impacted by all the hate, despite doing their best to deliver incredible experiences. I'd like to make the counter argument of no, they're not, because you're not listening to actual gamers. In fact, they're literally listening to people, the people that you're saying that the employees are suffering from are actually suffering from people like you, who, like the ex-Sony chairman, who said, if you don't like it, don't buy the game. Okay. And then you're wondering why Ubisoft is going down the shitter. How can you wish a company to fail simply because they do not cater to you or to that product, or that product does not please you? It's not beyond me. You are literally, in this screenshot, the monetization director at Ubisoft. Your job is to understand what the customer wants from your product and to then go and tell people this is what they want. You need to implement it. That is your job. And you are going, I don't understand. I don't understand that the product's not pleasing you. The whole point is to create a product that I will then go, you know what? That product interests me. I will make an exchange with you. Here is my money. Here is the product that, I've said I've wanted and that has features that I want. Exchange done. If you're going to make a product that's only for people like you, then why even release it out to the public? Just keep it to yourself. That's it. See, these people want to share. They want to get the recognition of doing something inclusive and brilliant and want to share with it, but they yet also want it just to stay in their own little clique. It's the weirdest thing. It makes absolutely no sense. Again, literally, if you take it to high school, it's the people, the cliques that you see in high school that have their own inside jokes. And then you'll see them going around, and if you happen to hang around them, said joke will be said. If there was someone else who was in that clique and gets it, they'll chuckle, and you'll just be like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you just have to be there. You just have to be this. But then they'll try to explain it to you. And it's like, then you're just like, well, that just sounds retarded. And it's like, well, you just aren't there. Okay, well, then don't bring it up. Because clearly it's between you, you know? But that's not how business works. That's not how a business works. Business work is going, hey, we have this product. We think a lot of people will like it. You share it with the public. The public will then say, yeah, sure. I will say that that's worthy of my money. Here you go. You get it, and you go, oh, this isn't kind of what you're saying. This isn't what I expected. It isn't this. And then when multiple people keep saying the same thing, the business should go, oh, yeah, we should probably do something to fix that. Let's see. As of this posting, only 192 people liked it. He concluded, we are all on the same boat. No, you forced yourself on the boat. You forced yourself on the boat that no one asked you to hop on. Please, please, please stop spreading hate. There it is. Stop spreading hate. We should all uplift each other instead of bringing each other down. No, you just don't want to hear the fact that no one wants your product. No one wants your product. People have demanded that you change your product. And then when you say, well, fuck you, just don't buy it, people go, okay. And then you're wondering, why are so many game developers being laid off? Why is the company doing terrible? And then people are cheering because it's like, reap the seeds you sow. So you have to hit rock bottom, I guess. That's what you want. You are asking for rock bottom, so you shouldn't be upset when people don't have sympathy for you. This will likely be lost on Chazard, but Ubisoft and many of his fellow employees are the ones pushing hate through their commitment to woke ideology. Yep. Even the CEO saying, I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company. No, you're not. Creating games for the broadest possible audience. No, you don't. You've literally said you want to cater to the modern audience, not the broadest audience. And our goal is not to push any specific agenda. That's a lie. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. Company's website makes it clear how dedicated to the agenda of wokeism it is. Yes, because they straight up have diversity, inclusion, and an accessibility page. Boom, right there. There's your vision, even highlighted in bold. Site also details we want to build the most creative, inclusive, and diverse team across all fields. How about just make a fucking diverse team of people that know how to make good games? We will continue to increase representation in our company by building more inclusion across our systems and ensure quality access to opportunity for everyone. Yep, and then you get games like Concord and Dustport and literally gets taken off 2 weeks after its launch. Good job. You made it. You did it. That's the thing. I'm glad because we're getting all this like solid proof that these people need to wake up. Number one, we have a game, a woke game failed. Dustborn, Concord. We have two actually. Failed. There's your counter argument to anyone's like, because they'll try to smoke and mirrors. Oh, Baldur's Gate had so much woke stuff in it. It's like, no. That Baldur's Gate, if anything, had a shit ton of debauchery, which you guys absolutely love. Plus, you could customize your character whatever you want. So you could avoid all that stuff. No. Concord, Dustborn, failed. Now you have a company that's going down. Also fail. So, like, this sadly has to happen. That hopefully will wake up all the other companies out there and be like, yeah, we don't want that to happen to us. So, yeah, we need to start a change and stuff. Finally, it also states we will set the standards for inclusion of our teams, players, and partners, and will collaborate with leading organizations to expand our knowledge growth, grow our reach, give back to the community, and champion inclusion in our industry. Notice how none of that says create compelling stories, present art in a way that's never been done before, create stunning video games. Look at all this. None of this has anything to do. This is all fluff. This is the only time that gaming has been said, kind of. Creating games that reflect the diversity of the world we live in. Notice it's not creating games that tell, engaging stories that you can get lost in and that will stay with people from years to come. No. Create games based on diversity of the world we live in. The whole point of gaming is to get out of the world that we live in, to separate our brains, to log off for just a couple hours, to where we don't need to worry about getting in trouble if we just go around, start murking people left and right, because we decided to be the evil character in the video game, because we know it's not real. We want to get out of it, but these people want to bring this into entertainment. And most of all, they want to bring in their version of how the world should be into entertainment. That's what they want to do. Oh, there's more to this? I thought we were done. Hey, it's Legal Mindset. He's awesome. All right, yeah, so this is now just padding probably about, pretty much that what we just read up there about, oh yeah, we create games for everyone is a straight up lie, and listing many examples of, yeah, like right here. Company has also made it clear it had a focus on queer representation in gaming. Why? What does being queer have to do with anything in games? It's a gay main lead, so it's extra special. Really? The story sucks. It still sucks. It was made by gay people. So that means it's a special. It's extra special. Yeah, right here. Boom. Focus on queer representation in games. Yeah, you made Concord and Dustborn. And I believe Concord failed miserably. And Dustborn, the main character was a piece of shit to said representation from some of the people that I follow that kind of played the game as a joke. So it's mind-boggling. Oh my gosh, and then they quote the Archbishop again. Okay, well, we've read all this enough. Oh my gosh. It's that Park Place. I understand you want to make good articles, but you don't need to pad it with like the same thing over and over and over again. It's okay to have it small. It's okay to have it just this and then comment on it and be like, yeah, this guy's spurging out. And he's like literally everything that he's saying that everyone else is doing. It's people like him because it's production. Anyway, so there's that. So we got that covered. And that's kind of what's happening at old Ubisoft. So we'll go ahead and we'll end up kind of like an update of what's happening with Smash JT and Alyssa Mercante. Anybody who may not know, Alyssa Mercante going out telling people, come physically fight me and stuff like that. Sent a cease and desist letter to Smash JT right here, saying that she's being harassed and doxxed and all that stuff, when countless of screenshots and snaps of her actions, of her harassment and stuff being documented. sends a cease and desist letter to him. He responds by saying, "Nah, I'm not apologizing." And then she says, "We're going to go ahead and go forward." So a GoFundMe was set up to help him with legal defenses. It's back on right now, but he was temporarily suspended for his GoFundMe legal defense. This is what these people do. And remember, unless Alyssa's lawyer is doing this pro bono, I personally think she's not going to pay any of this, because this is what these people do. They purposely put, we've seen this with other people online. They will do stuff like this to bring upon stress, frustration in your life by having these retarded cease and desist and legal issues to force you to spend money to ultimately hope that you back down and apologize. They are weaponizing the law when the law is never on their side. And then when all is said and done, a lot of these people don't even they don't care. I'm just starting to hope, we're kind of seeing it with Carl Jobst and Billy Mitchell. When Billy loses and he's forced to pay, hopefully that'll create waves for people like Alyssa Mercante to think twice about, doing all this legal stuff. Because as far as I'm concerned, you should be punished. This should be something to where, you purposely went out of your way just to do all this, just to waste time, money on on said person, just to, to purposely attack him. All right, so Smash JT's GoFundMe was temporarily suspended, and the platform informed him via email that he needed to update his campaign or face its complete removal. And I think he established the GoFundMe, or someone established it. Should have gone with Give, Send, Go, because they don't fall for this sort of garbage. But I guess lesson learned now. The platform informed him via email that he needed to update. Oh, I already read that. In the meantime, all transactions have been paused, and he will not receive any funds until the situation is manually reviewed. So GoFundMe's stated reason behind this halt appears to be due to a series of reports submitted by that's what they do, by a vocal group of activists siding with Alyssa Mercante, against whom Smash JT is defending himself in a legal battle. These reports have led to GoFundMe putting his fundraiser on hold, demanding specific changes to be made. According to Smash JT, he must modify the story or remove any name or potentially defamatory language, a request that he finds biased and unfair. This isn't just about protecting their buddy Alyssa, he states. It's about power and censorship at any cost. Yep, they can't handle an L and are now going after my funding sources. Yep. This tactic seems just another way to extend what is already a lengthy saga between Smash JT and Mercante, and now the further efforts of her radicalized supporters. The goal of Mercante and her ilk, Smash JT argues, is not to engage in fair discourse. Yep. But rather to eliminate any opposing voices from the conversation. These tactics are akin to pure evil activism. Absolutely. And for Smash JT, this experience reflects a broader strategy used by activists, which he describes as attempting to silence dissenting voices by going after funding sources, just as they did to other figures in the gaming industry. He draws a parallel with Nick Calandra, founder of Second Wind, an outspoken defender of Mercante, who also has been known to support targeting funding sources for anyone that opposes his viewpoints. Yep. 100%. This is what these people do. See, these people have found a way to continue to be abusers, and to hide the bruises in the most cleverest way possible. Well, we didn't really do anything. It's like you don't see the fact that going after someone's funds and destroy their lives and having them rebuilt from the ground up, that's not attacking someone. Well, no, I mean, it's what they did with Vic. They blacklisted him. They took away a lot of his, resources, his income and stuff. and said, well, we want him to get the help that he deserves. Well, taking away a lot of his income doesn't help anyone. But the thing is that they would determine when he could be let back in if he would have apologized. He kind of did, which was a terrible move, never apologized. But it wouldn't have been enough, and these people would determine when he would be allowed back into the industry. Luckily, Vika is doing well for himself. But again, I mean, this is what these people do. And of course, if you would do the same tactics on them, it'd be the most disgusting thing ever seen by these people. You would be a terrible person. You're silencing victims and stuff like that. Always for thee, but punish, rules for thee, but not for me mentality. This isn't about my GoFundMe, he explains. This is about a much larger movement that uses bullying and censorship as weapons to enforce compliance. Yes. And then GoFundMe stated that if they didn't hear back from him within 7 days, will refund donations and remove his campaign. And he found this treatment inherently unfair, particularly when all he is trying to do is defend himself in a court against Alyssa Mercante's accusation. He believes GoFundMe's decision to suspend his campaign is evidence of its susceptibility to manipulate by bad actors who wish to shut down their critics. And he made a video called Dear GoFundMe, where he's read the email out loud. And what followed up was a request from GoFundMe that he needed to remove the image attached to the fundraiser, along with any direct names and language that could be interpreted as defamatory. See, but this is the thing. If he says, I'm being sued by XYZ, this is to help me defend myself. How is that defamatory? You're literally stating, like, yeah, this person and me are going to court, and this is to help with the funds. So I don't know how it's defamatory. And if you're just showing a picture, like, I mean, I guess we could, is there a link to the thing? We could see he's changed it now, so. I was wondering what the banner was. So Smash JT questions this requirement, asking, defamatory to who? Because this person is trying to defame me and going on the attack against me. And I'm not allowed to defend myself and say, this is what she's doing to me. Faced with this challenge, he has taken the steps to comply with GoFundMe's requirements, updating the fundraiser, removing Mercante's name, and even the name of his legal representative, Ron Coleman, which editorially I think is ridiculous. Oh, gosh. He also swapped the thumbnail, initially a still from one of his videos featuring Alyssa Mercante with a gigantic image of a gavel. Though Smash JD complied with the requirements, he still feels the situation reveals how platforms like GoFundMe can be exploited by those with an agenda. This isn't the first time GoFundMe has found themselves embroiled in controversy. February 2022 trucker convoy fundraiser. For Smash JT, this isn't the first time that he's encountered these type of tactics. Alyssa Mercante supporters have previously gone after his website, tried to get him fired from his job, and even contacted his wife in an effort to disrupt his personal life. He views these attempts as the work of people determined to silence anyone who disagrees with them. It appears that if someone exposes them or their hypocrisy, they are targeted. They refuse to stop until their opponent is entirely incapacitated, he continued. They use terms like justice and equality, but they practice something very different, silencing dissent, stamping out criticism, and leaving scorched earth in their wake. Yeah, that's why at some point these weirdos are going to do it to someone who will not give a crap, and they will go scorched earth 10 times harder. And no one will feel sorry for him. The Bugs Bunny mentality. Fight fire with fire, I always say. So despite the constant attack, Smash JT is steadfast in his efforts to fight back. He refuses to be silenced or intimidated or put at odds with the YouTube terms. To service with a forced apology statement, I'm not going anywhere. And he making it clear that he's determined to continue the fight no matter the obstacles. Anyone that stoops to this level and tries to take down someone's GoFundMe page is proof that they are losing. He says, we're winning and they can't stand it. Yeah, it's funny how they claimed that he was doing defamation or possible defamation with the banner and stuff, when if there's clear proof that, like, she's told people to go get this, like, stuff, like, mass flag report this, that's, like, defaming him. Like, that's action is straight up showing that, you know, they're scumbags. So he's waiting for the response on the current status of his campaign. He remains hopeful that the platform will ultimately do the right thing and reinstate his fundraiser. In the meantime, he's looking at options, considering other crowdfund alternatives and seeking additional support for his community in other ways. Give, send, go. Just use give, send, go. Situation underscores a broader trend where individuals who challenge certain activists face intense opposition, often aimed at crippling them financially and socially. The ultimate goal, he believes, is not to win an argument or prove a point, but to silence anyone who doesn't conform. Reminds me of a power that rose to prominence in the 1930s through the 1940s. Yep. And then one thing's clear, he's not backing down as he continues to struggle against this form of oppression. What do you think? Will he find the means to turn the table on Alyssa Mercante and her radicalized supporters? Will he and Ron Coleman be able to recover the expenses that Alyssa subjugated them to? I think so, and I hope that she pays if she's found guilty or something like that. Because that's the thing. Again, that's the thing. Companies are finding out they're losing money and they're shutting down. That's why people are cheering. Games are failing and being taken off, 2 weeks after they're released, and people are cheering. Is it going to have to get to a point where, activists like Mercante and stuff need to lose everything, and people clapping and cheering that she reached what she's sown, and stuff like that? Does it have to happen? I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd be lying if I say it wouldn't be nice to see, people who want to make your life miserable, take away your finances, XYZ, get taken to court and lose and have to pay the price. But yeah, ultimately, what scripture says, reap what you sow. All right, folks, but that's all I have for you tonight. So thanks again for hanging out with me. If you're new and enjoy the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We are on YouTube, Rumble, X, and my locals. And you can find my other social media listed in the description below. And we'll be continuing gaming tomorrow and over the weekend. But yes. Who's on? Is there anybody online that we can redirect to or something? At least over on YouTube or anything like that. Drunk 3PO's online. He's a good guy. All right. You guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. Catch you on the flip side. See you tomorrow. Peace.